Live feed. I'm Rashad Mitchell YouTube channel. Let's get into the Word of God, Life and Spirit Study Bible, chapter 40, 41, and 42. Let's get into chapter 40, verse 7 to 16. And it reads, when all the army officers and the men who were still in the open country heard that the king of Babylon had appointed Gedaliah, son of Iachim, as governor over the land, and had put him in charge of the men, women, and children who were the poorest in the land, who had not been carried into exile to Babylon, they came to Gedaliah at Mizpah, Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, Johanan, Jonathan, the sons of Kareah, Sarai, son of Tanhumeth, the sons of Ephah, the Netophathite, and Jazaniah, the son of Meccathite, and the men. Gedaliah, son of Ohakam, the son of Shaphan, took an oath to reassure them and their men, and do not be afraid to serve the Babylonians. He said, settle down in the land and serve the king of Babylon. It will go well with you. I myself will stay at Mizpah to represent you before the Babylonians, who came to us, but you are to harvest the wine, summer fruit, and oil, and put them in your storage jars and live in the towns you have taken over. And all the Jews in Moab and Ammon, Edom, and all the other countries heard that the king of Babylon had left a remnant in Judah and had appointed Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, as governor over them. They all came over to the land of Judah, to Gedaliah, as Mizpah, from all the countries where they had been scattered. And they harvested in the abundance of wine and summer fruit. Johanan, son of Kareah, and all the army officers still in the army open country coming to Gedaliah at Mizpah and said to him, don't you know that Baalis, king of the Ammonites, has sent Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, to take your life? And Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, did not believe them. And Johanan, son of Kareah, son of said probably to Gedaliah in Mizpah, let me go and kill Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, and no one will know it. Why should he take your life and cause all the Jews who are gathered around you to be scattered, and the remnant of Judah to perish? But Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, said to Johanan, son of Kareah, don't do such a thing. What you are saying about Ishmael is not true. Gedaliah, governor over the land. That means Gedaliah and a good ruler helped restore order and peace to the land. He served approximately 5 years before being assassinated by Ishmael. He wanted to continue opposition to Babylon, and Gedaliah trusted Ishmael too much, even after being warned of an assassination plot. Let's go to chapter 41, verse 2 and verse 7. That'll be it for chapter 41. Let's get into verse 2. Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, and the 10 men who were with them and got up and struck down son of Ahikam and the son of Shaphan with the sword, killing the one whom the king of Babylon had appointed as governor over the land. All right, struck down Gedaliah. That means because he was violently anti-Babylon, Ishmael killed Gedaliah, the governor appointed by Nebuchadnezzar. Ishmael may have believed that Gedaliah had supported the cruelty inflicted on Zedekiah. Verse 7. When they went into the city, Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, and the men who were with him slaughtered them and threw them into a cistern. Ishmael slaughtered 70 of 80 pilgrims, 7 of 80 pilgrims, and evidently to get their supplies and money. He did not fear God or desire to do what was right. He failed to recognize that the Lord would one day judge his actions and punish him accordingly. Let's get to chapter 42, verse 1 through 22. Let's get into that. Then get right into this book about the 49ers and Malcolm X enduring influence. We'll talk about that because today, 60 years ago, he was assassinated on February 21st, 1965. Chapter 42, verse 1 through 22. Then all the army officers, including Johanan, son of Kareah, and Jezaniah, son of Heshasiah, and all the people from the east the greatest, approached Jeremiah the prophet and said to him, please hear our petition and pray to the Lord your God for this entire remnant. For as you now see, that we were once many, now only a few are left. Pray that the Lord your God will tell us where we should go and what we should do. And I have heard you, replied Jeremiah the prophet. I will certainly pray to the Lord your God as you have requested. I will tell you everything the Lord says and will keep nothing back from you. Then they said to Jeremiah, may the Lord be a true and faithful witness against us if we do not act in accordance with everything the Lord your God sends you to tell us. Whether it is favorable or unfavorable, we will obey the Lord our God to whom we are sending you, so that it will go well with us, for we will obey the Lord our God. 10 days later, the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah. So he called together Johanan, son of Kareah, and all the army officers who were with him, and all the people from the least to the greatest. He said to them, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, to whom you sent me to present your petition, says, if you stay in this land, I will build you up and not tear you down. I will plant you and not root you, for I am grieved over the disaster I have inflicted on you. Do not be afraid of the king of Babylon, whom you now fear. Do not be afraid of him, declares the Lord, for I am with you and will save you and deliver you from his hands. I will show your compassion so that he will have compassion on you and restore you to your life, the land. However, if you say, we will not stay in this land, and so disobey the Lord your God, and if you say, no, we will go and live in Egypt, where we will not see war or hear the trumpet or be hungry for bread, then hear the word of the Lord, O remnant of Judah. This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says. If you are determined to go to Egypt, and you do go to settle there, then the sword you fear will overtake you there, and the famine you dread will follow you into Egypt, and there you will die. Indeed, all who are determined to go to Egypt, settle there, will not while the sword, famine, and plague. Not one of them will survive or escape the disaster I will bring on them. This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says. As my anger and wrath have been poured out on those who live in Jerusalem, so will my wrath be poured out on you. When you go to Egypt, you will be an object of cursing and horror, of condemnation and reproach. You will never see the place again. O remnant of Judah, the Lord has told you, do not go to Egypt. Be sure of this, I'll warn you today that you made a fatal mistake. And when you sent me to the Lord your God and said, pray to the Lord our God for us, tell us everything he says, we will do it. I have told you today, but you still have not obeyed the Lord your God and all he sent me to tell you. So now be sure of this, you will die by the sword, famine, and plague in the place where you want to go to settle. All the people approached. That means after Gedaliah was murdered, the people feared Babylon's wrath, and so they sought God's will from Jeremiah. However, having already made up their minds to flee to Egypt, they only wanted to hear the word of the Lord if it confirmed their intentions. God's answer was to stay in this land. The leaders rejected this message and went to Egypt anyway, taking Jeremiah along against his will. All right, so we're going to conclude with that. Again, chapter 43, 44, and 45 on Monday. So that's it for that. All right, so let's get into that's it. Get into this 49ers book. But the 49ers, the second half. Now, the first half, 49ers was leading. See, what was the score? 28-16. So in the second half, it was just dominance by the 49ers. They led 28-16, but the advantage felt larger. In the second quarter, they dominated the Dolphins. And the adjustment with the nickel defense made the difference with George Seifert nickel defense. After the Dolphins scored 10 early points, made the difference. George Seifert said our nickel defense was very the key. Who to be a dominant rough pretty much played the whole second half in our nickel defense, and they overwhelmed them. They exposed the Dolphins as a one-dimensional team, with them running through 27 passes, 17 completions for 179 yards in the first half compared to just 5 runs for 9 yards. They couldn't run against the nickel. You would just see those guys, Fred Dean and Pee Wee, Wayne Ward, Ward, Dwayne Board, and those guys leading their heirs back and pounding the crown. So in the first half, this offense and the game plan was perfect because they had 18 first downs, 288 total yards, and 4 touchdowns. Montana had 13 of 18 for 168 yards. It's 47 yards rushing, 50 to 125 yards rushing in the first half. And the third quarter would be more of the same. So if the Dolphins proceed the second half, and the pass rush by Dwayne Board made the difference. Also, he made a tackle for a loss against Tony Nathan, the running back. Then he beat right tackle Cleveland Green to sack Dan Marino. So they had their first sack. So on the first drive of the second half, the 49ers got the ball, took over near midfield without missing a beat. As Montana connected with Wendell Tyler out of the back for 15 yards. Then he ripped off 7 yards. Montana used his legs again for a 12-yard gain, 59 yards. Rushing set a new Super Bowl record for our quarterback. For the first time in the red zone, the Dolphins defense led by Chuck Studley forced a field goal attempt. Ray Wilson made a field goal to make it 31-16. So behind 2 touchdowns, Dan Marino had to show why he was the league's MVP. He ran into the best pass rusher in the NFL, unfortunately. As Manu Tuiasosopo sacked Marino for a sack. Then Dwayne Board had another sack. The offensive line had given up only 14 sacks all season. So the next drive on the 30-yard line, Washington wanted to attack the linebackers of the Dolphins. So out of an I formation, Montana faked the handoff to Wendell Tyler, who went through the line at right guard, then beat inside linebacker Jay Brophy man-to-man coverage. By cutting to his left, Montana hit Taylor in stride. He sprinted away from Brophy for a huge 40-yard gain. They couldn't keep up with us, Wendell Tyler, and I ate them alive. And they couldn't keep up with us. We kept them off balance, said fullback Roger Craig. It's a pass play and I came through the fake. There was a linebacker on me. I just made myself available. You were just better than those linebackers, said halfback Wendell Tyler. Then Montana went to Russ Francis for 14 yards. Then another pass to Tyler for 5 yards, putting the ball at the Dolphins' 16-yard line. Then Walsh looked at his play sheet, called 20 bingo cross at the snap. And Montana took a 7-step drop to let the patterns develop. And Tyler lined up on the left of the backfield. He crossed first as Craig went second, crossing from right to left. Montana dumped an easy pass to wide open Craig, who then turned up the field at the 10-yard line and high-stepped untouched for an easy touchdown. That was the signature shot of Super Bowl 19, beat Roger Craig's high-stepping knees, pumping up touch into the end zone as he held the ball high in the air. Joe Montana always talk about Dan Marino. On the big stage, he was proving to the world he was the best, who the best quarterback in the NFL was. He pointed to the 49 sidelines and yelled. He high-fived Randy Cross and Keith Farnhorse. Roger Craig had just set a record at the time, a new Super Bowl record by scoring his 3rd touchdown of the game. So it was 38-16, with 6:18 to go. So that was to be the final score. So that would be it, the narrative. Super Bowl ended, Super Bowl 19 ended at 6:31 p.m. local time, 9:31 Eastern Standard Time. $537 yards. So the offense was a Super Bowl record at the time. Montana outdueled Dan Marino, won MVP for the second time, 24-35, 331 yards, 3 touchdowns. He ran 59 yards and another touchdown. He had accounted for 390 total yards and 4 touchdowns. So that's basically it. It was just a dominant performance. They were 18-1 overall, including the playoffs. So, but was going in the locker room, the game ball. Dwight Hicks gave the game ball to Bill Walsh, the coach. That was the difference. Presentation of the Super Bowl trophy. Pete Rozelle presented to Eddie Barlow and Bill Walsh. Jim Lampley of ABC as the Royal Howard felt to win his second Super Bowl in 4 years and stuff like that. National media coverage. Subdued celebration at the parade. Pro Bowl side cover. Roger Craig was on the cover. After the Super Bowl was over, the Niners nail them was the headline. That was it for that. So this is the legacy of the 49ers. Even though they won the Super Bowl, they was able to get Jerry Rice in the 1985 draft. They would go from 1984 all the way to 1981 to 1998 rather. They had 17 winning seasons in 18 years, winning at least 10 or more games in each of those 17 seasons. 5 Super Bowls, 13 division championships. So this was a dominant team. They were not just the team of the age, they were the team of the future of the NFL. They were the future of the NFL. They were a great team in '84 in terms of what they did. They were the first team to win 15 games. They won 18 games in one season. They were one play away from a perfect season. They beat the Giants, they beat the Bears. They defeated 3 teams that would make their own marks in NFL history, like the Giants who would win it in 1986, and the Bears would win it a year later in '85. They beat the Dolphins, obviously 38-16, the 49ers, and outscored their opponents 82-26. They were only one offensive touchdown. This was a dominant team, and it earned the hard way. That's what it says. About one heartbeat to get to the Super Bowl and win it. All right, so that's it, man. That's it for that. That's all I need to be said about that. Put down with this book. Let's quickly talk about Malcolm X. He passed away, got shot and assassinated back in 1965 on this day, February 21st. I'm just going to talk about his enduring influence, man. You look at Malcolm X, there's no Black Panthers, there's no Carmichael without Malcolm X, man. His influence and what he brought to the table spoke for itself. When you talk about what he became as an icon, as a hero, and what he brought to the table with his influence, I think that's what stands out with Malcolm X. For his, the Black pride, self-respect, awareness of one's heritage, at a time when American society stigmatized or excluded people of African descent. Malcolm's militant advocacy was stunning. It gave millions of young African Americans newfound confidence. And this what led to, in a sense, Black Power. These expressions were at the foundation of what in 1966 became Black Power. And Malcolm X was the leading guard of that. He was at the vanguard of that. He was the reason why Black Power came into existence, because of his, about self-pride and, being grateful for your heritage as a Black person and stuff like that. That's what he brought to the table. So, it is what it is. So I just want to briefly talk about that, his influence Stoker called Michael obviously Black Power the most important architect. Especially in the rap world, definitely. You know, when we look at Public Enemy, I don't think there'd be a Public Enemy without Malcolm X, X-Clan, Poor Righteous Teachers, KRS One. You know, his influence, like the things that he said, was very, heavily sampled in rap music in the late 80s and early 90s, when the conscious era of rap was dominating the landscape of rap. So he had a big impact on rap music, the rap world. And Malcolm X was very influential leader and what he brought to the table. Um, that's the thing that stands out with him. We talk about what he contributed, what he brought to the table. So this is the day that he was assassinated, unfortunately, 60 years ago. And that's it. That's what I want to talk about that briefly. So that's it. I'm done. For this live feed, I'll be back um, on Sunday with the week that was in the NBA. The NBA second half started this week, so I'm going to get into that, and that'll be it. So that's it for tonight. Until then, talk to you on Sunday.